Is it gonna work out? I think it's all gonna work out. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's so nice to be back. I'm coming off a couple bad days and now I'm having an okay day. So I'm really glad to be here. Sorry that it's been a little while. It's been a little over 2 weeks, but such is life. My name is Laura, and this is my YouTube channel, which is called I Heart Knitting. You can find me on Instagram as I Heart You, EWE, or on Ravelry as I Heart You Knit, where I talk about all the crafty things I've been working on, as well as what you can find in my Etsy shop. I have an update coming on Friday, which I will be showing you some things from that update at the end of this episode. So stick around if that interests you. Let's start out by talking about what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my Sorrel sweater. This was basically my only sweater make, I think, of 2020. So I started this, I think in kind of the springtime when it first came out, and then finished it like later on, maybe in like early summer, and hadn't had a chance to wear it very much. I haven't really been wearing my knits very much this year at all, but I guess that's not surprising because we haven't really been doing much. But I really love this sweater. The high neckline's a little different for me, but I actually like the way it fits. I think it's quite flattering, especially when you combine it with these beautiful stitches. So there's this really cool dip stitch technique. So this is the Sorrel sweater by on Instagram, their handle is Dank Fiber, or I think Woolen Pine is the other half of the like the collaboration that puts these patterns out. So the Sorrel sweater, it has these very, very cool dip stitches, and mine is knit with fingering weight and a strand of mohair held double. So I have several colors in here. Here, I can stand up, hopefully without shaking my camera too much, and you can see these are hedgehog fibers, 1, 2, 3. And then the top one is by Junk Yarn. It was actually from some leftovers from my So Faded sweater, which I think I showed you a few weeks ago. Yeah, either way, it's beautiful, it's warm. I think I used Knit Picks Aloft as the mohair, and it just has this beautiful halo. And the coolest thing about this is one of the first mohair projects where I used a contrast mohair. So all the colors I picked have a lot of white in them, and then the mohair is black. And so that's why you're getting this really cool like halo effect. You can see it really well in the sleeves here. I love this. I really, really do. I'm glad I made it, and it was a good, like, it was like my first quarantine project before my knitting mojo just like tanked later on in the year. I did a lot of knitting in like, say May, like March through July, I guess, and then, I don't know, life got in the way. Yeah, like I said, it's been like a weird week. You know, we had some like kind of minor house drama that we had to deal with. Everything's fine now, but it kind of took a chunk out of my day. Couple days actually, trying to fix up a little bit of a moisture issue. And I don't know if it's the weather. I don't know what happened, but I've just been really low energy, and I feel like nothing's like going my way. I feel like things are fighting me. So yeah, anyways, I'm hoping to get my, groove back soon. I think the only thing you can do when you feel like this is just kind of like keep on going as best as you can, and lower your expectations for yourself a little bit. I always have really high expectations for myself of what I'm going to get done, but yeah, just I'm doing what I can. It's January, and we've been in lockdown, like in isolation, for like a couple months now because of British Columbia's laws. So I don't know, it's just been tough, but yeah, I feel like I'm slowly like clawing back, getting back to normal. I'm gonna go out for a run later on. It was really rainy this morning, but it's cleared out, and I haven't been running really since like September, so I'm gonna do that and try and keep boosting my mood a little bit because yeah, anyways, it's been a weird one. So I have a finished object that I'm staring at and hiding from you. This is the slipper socks that I was knitting last time. So these are by me. I didn't use a pattern. This is just my standard sock recipe, over 48 stitches, and I held fingering weight yarn double, using 4mm needles to do just like a standard sock. And yeah, this used up almost the entire skein of yarn. This yarn is the Graffito colorway by Subculture Yarns. And yeah, I used up like a decent amount of the yarn. I almost, if you were doing this yourself, I would recommend weighing as you go on your first sock, because even if you started to run out near the end, if you do them top down, you could put in a contrast toe. So yeah, just measure kind of when you get down to the bottom and make sure that you'll have 50 grams left to do the other one. Because yeah, this uses almost a full skein of fingering weight. They're super nice. They're smooshy. They're going to be good for wearing around the house. I don't know if they're going to be quite so good for inside shoes. I'm not sure how they're going to wear, but it's a really fun, quick, easy project. And it really helped with the pooling with this yarn in particular. So I'm really happy those are done. I finished those. Oops, that was loud. I finished those a little while ago. And then the next thing I want to talk to you about is my City Limit sweater, which I'm starting to think is cursed. This is going to be the cursed sweater story. So here we are. I am almost done, friends. Like, look, I'm just almost done the ribbing. I have just a couple more rounds to go on the ribbing before this is finished. It looks great. I'm really happy with it. I think we talked about this last time. I switched out some colors. So going back, I started this project in August 5th, and I picked out some yarn and it just wasn't quite working the way I wanted it to. So I ripped it back after doing the entire body and starting a sleeve. I ripped it back to basically the armpit, inserted a new color, found some new, like a new bottom color to put in, and then kept knitting. And, it's going really well, really happy with the change in color, but it was just sort of turning into a slog because, I'd already knit a lot of it once, and it's been on the needles for a while, and it's definitely something that I want to wear. It's definitely like a product knit for me, at this point, especially. So here we are, I'm working along and I've done the one sleeve and it's going really well. And I posted a picture on Instagram and everybody loved it. And that was fantastic. And, I said I was hoping to have it finished by the end of the weekend. And so yesterday, Sunday, today's Monday, I was sitting there and I was working on the second sleeve and I started to run out of yarn. And I was like, are you kidding me? Just a few rounds into each changeover, I was running out of yarn, like right here, say I'd run out of this color when I was about here, and then didn't have enough to keep going. So I was just like, it was such a small amount that I was short. And I know people had said that they had ran out of yarn on this, but I figured I'd be okay, and I was not. So anyway, so I'm trying to find which sleeve it is that actually has the the substitute yarns in it. I think it's this one. So it's actually really hard to see. I found some really close matching yarn to this teal and some really close matching yarn to this light blue, and I added those in. So you might be able to see there just barely. That's different from that. And then same thing up here. This here is a little different from the teal that's in here. So again, I'm super proud of myself. I'm like, okay, I found this problem, but I fixed it, right? I was like, okay, I found some yarn. It was just scrap yarn. And I was so happy. I was finished. I finished the sleeve. I cast off. And I went on Ravelry and I marked it as finished. And then I looked at it and I realized I still needed to do the collar. It was just like, okay, that's okay. That won't take very long. So then the final curse of this sweater came out last night. I was working on the collar, and my plan was to have it finished before we went to bed last night. And I was making good time, and I was drinking a beer, and I had it on a tray really close to where I was knitting. And I put the sweater down to get up and do something, and I went to get up and I knocked the tray and I knocked over the beer. I thought it had missed my sweater. It made this huge mess. It like filled up the tray with beer. It got on my needle holder, like my needle case. It got on my notions pouch. You know, like I have a coaster on there that got soaked. That's fine. We washed all that. I thought that it missed my sweater because it was kind of just past the disaster. But when I woke up this morning and looked at it, it's hard to tell, which is nice, but you can see there's beer on my sweater now. Chocolate porter. Yeah, locally brewed, really dark. Chocolate porter on my sweater. So after like all the drama of this sweater and working on it for so long and knitting it, after that happened last night, and I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm done for tonight. And yeah, anyways, when I looked at it this morning in the light, I realized that there are some splashes of beer on there. So the sweater is a little cursed, right? It's got something's going on with it. It's not happy. It's really fighting me. But I'm determined to finish it after I record today, and then I'm going to block it and get it in the wash and see if I can get some of those marks out. It had already dried by the time I noticed this morning, so I figured rather than try and clean it or get it wet this morning and then not be able to show it, I just thought maybe I will wait because I don't think a few hours will make a difference at this point. I actually recorded a podcast on Friday, but I was having sound issues, and then I lost the end of my my ending. I lost my recording at the end, so I trashed that, and I was like, okay, let's start over on Monday. So yeah, I've been having a time, guys. You know, I've spilled coffee on my knitting before. We've all like dumped stuff on our knitting before. It's normally in my project bag because of things like that, but I was actually working on it and just put it aside for a minute, but it wasn't protected, but it's just so frustrating. Like I said, it's just been like one of those weeks. I've just been kind of trying to power through, you know, tried to make bread and the dough didn't work, and I don't know. There was a full moon this week. Maybe that's it. But either way, can we just call this a finished object, please? For the sake of just me needing to cross this off my list. Let's call it a finished object. It's not quite. There are still a lot of ends to weave in, but it's really close. So yes, the case of Laura and the cursed sweater. I find when things are fighting you like that, sometimes the best thing to do is just power through a little bit and see if you can kind of break that curse and, you know, get through it, because otherwise, like, I could have easily just shoved that in a bag when I ran out of yarn. And it would have been ages before I came to it again. You know, it just would have been in that lost pile of whips. So anyways, I'm going to push through it and get it done. So... holy drama. Other thing I've been doing is I got two other little projects to show you. This is in a project bag I made a few years ago. I should make a habit of showing you my project bags. So that is one I made a few years ago for myself. And then this is my Harlow hat, which I showed you last time. So I'm brioching. It's looking really good. And yeah, I feel like I hit a groove with this. I just haven't been working on it too much this week. I did, after I recorded 2 weeks ago, I did put on an inch or two of it. And yeah, it's going really well. Brioche is not as scary as I thought it was going to be. You know, it's just like anything else. It's just a little bit of a rhythm that you kind of have to teach yourself. But it goes really well. There's a few little things to remember, but now that I've followed the pattern for this many rounds, it's really intuitive. I've basically memorized it, and I was really happy that after I hadn't worked on it for a while, and then I picked it up again after a few weeks, and the rhythm came right back to me. So that's usually a good sign if, if I don't have to go back to my notes after putting it down for a while, that skill is starting to stick in my head. So yeah, this is 2 fingering weight yarns. This is Knit Pick Stroll in the Cobblestone Heather for the dark gray, and then the lighter color is the Fawn and the Fox, and that is her Water Lilies colorway, and that's on her otter base. So these are just standard merino nylon fingering weights. And I'm using 3.25 millimeter needles, which are US 3. And this is the small size. I think it's like the kids size of the pattern. So yeah, if you are wanting to try 2-color brioche, this might be a good thing to try. The only thing I would say is that because it's fingering weight, it's going to be it's going to take a while, where maybe if I had tried like a DK or a worsted weight brioche first, that would be kind of more satisfying for me. And then this guy, this is another little project bag that I made. Pretty project bag. This is old school tulip pink print fabric, which is it's really hard to find. It's like quite a few years old. I think I found some scraps in like a D stash and just had enough to make like a cool little scrappy project bag for myself. Yeah, so in this scrappy project bag, I have put some socks. So yeah, so I have these socks that I've started on 9-inch circulars. So they're very wee. I'm not sure how I feel about them. I'm still deciding. I'm still on the ribbing here. Yeah, I'm just trying a different technique, trying something out. I had these needles for a while, and I think I tried a toe-up project on them and was not happy. So I figured I'd try again on a top-down and see how I like them this time. This is more Fawn and the Fox yarns. This is her magpie base that has stellina. The Fawn and the Fox isn't dyeing quite as much as they used to. I have a big stash from when they were clearing out their shop when she had her first kid. So anyways, I'm not sure how much is available in her shop, but I do have a lot of her stuff that I'm knitting with recently, just because I'm trying to go through my stash. So this is her magpie base. This is called Cabin in the Woods. It has the gold stellina in there. So I think it is 75% wool, 20% merino, or 20% nylon, and 5% of the gold stellina. So yeah, so I'm doing my standard 64 stitch sock here, 2.25 millimeter, and they just have these really short little needles that end here and a mini cable. Like I said, I'm not quite sure how I feel about this yet. It's a little hard for me to work on. I feel like I'm like kind of fighting the cable because there's just not a lot of movement available to you when you're kind of stitching like this. So I'm just not sure how I feel about that. Like my hands feel huge and like I feel like I'm trying to knit these with giant hands, and I do not have giant hands. I have teeny tiny little hands. So it's, usually things feel too big in my hands rather than too small. So this has been interesting for me, and I think maybe starting and doing the ribbing was possibly a mistake. I had posted a picture and talked about this a little bit on Instagram, and I had a lot of people commenting, and it seems as though a lot of people do just their stockinette on these 9-inch circulars, and then they do all their ribbing and their heel turns and their decreasing and everything on double points or magic loop. So I wasn't aware of that, and that might have been something that I could have done, is done the ribbing on magic loop, which is what I prefer, and then switched over to these little guys for the stockinette. Yeah, I might do that with the second sock, but it might change my gauge a little bit. Yeah, we'll see. So I think I'm just gonna do like a little bit more ribbing here, even though it's not very much, and then get into the stockinette because I'm really, like I said, not super enjoying this right now. And yeah, I'm looking forward to trying out the stockinette on these little needles because I'm hoping that it'll be fast. Everybody says it's really quick, just because there's no, rearranging that you have to do or anything like that. So hopefully these will have a bit more progress next time you see them, and I'll be able to give you a better review of what I think, because I'm just not, I haven't decided whether I like them or not. I'm not loving them right now, but I think that is more just the stage I'm at in the sock than the actual needles. And a lot of people who I talked to said that it took them maybe 2 pairs of socks before they kind of got comfortable on their needles. So I'm willing to wait a little bit for that and see if it becomes more natural feeling. And then once my once my Sorrel sweater is finished, my City Limits, even though we decided that it is finished, right? Even though it's even though the collar's not done, it has beer on it. Now that is kind of finished, I'm gonna pull this back out. I showed this to you in my very first episode. This is my Stonecrop sweater, and this is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. And I'm knitting it without the baubles. I've omitted the baubles because I just don't want any more extra volume and stripes across my body. It's not gonna be a good look for me. So I'm knitting this in Flock Fibre Studio. This is, which one is this? This is their Take a Hike sock, which is an 80/20 super wash merino and nylon. It has 420 yards and 115 grams. So it might be ever so slightly thicker than a sock yarn you're used to. This color is called Peach Pit, and this color is called Wavelength. And these are just lovely together. It's really hard to photograph this, but it's actually coming up pretty well on here. The yarn blows out just a little bit because of all those light colors in it. But I really, really love this look of this color work. An all over color work sweater is not something I've attempted before, I don't think. So we'll see how this goes. So yeah, I'm excited to pull that out again. And then I think I'm going to start my Nurtured sweater by Andrea Mowry as well. I have like a really natural fawn colored yarn that I want to do that out of. So that's basically all that's been going on. I've been trying to be monogamous on my projects. I'm just at this phase where I'm like not really interested in any of them anymore. I want them to be done and I don't want to work on them. So I've been trying to fight that a little bit and finish some things before I start some new things. But I think I'd like to start something. I haven't knit a shawl in a really long time, and I think I'd like to do that. The last thing I want to talk about is some shop stuff. So I'm just leaning back here and grabbing some bags. I have some bags in progress here that I'm going to show you, and then I wanted to just let you know that I've updated, I have all new colors for my stitch markers here. These are going to be hard to show. I have like 15 solid color sets now of the stitch markers, ranging from like a yellow, and then I also have like these really nice metallic colors as well. So this is like a metallic red, and then I have those in like a blue and a green and a purple as well. So I just want to let you know that there are tons of new stitch markers in the shop. If you want some like custom colors, like say you want like the light purple and the light blue and the white together, I'm happy to do that. I just, I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to kind of divide them all up. So if that's something you want, just let me know what colors you're interested in and I can totally help you out with that. So I have a bunch of those. We have 5 metallic finishes in the shop. I have a rainbow set that you can get, and then I have these individual color ones. They're really fun and they're like my favorite stitch marker. I use them all the time. And then, yeah, I think I mentioned there's still lavender sachets from the last update. I might do a few that match these bags as well with some of my scraps later on, but I haven't done any yet from this fabric pull. But these are all Rifle Paper Company fabrics. This is my medium. It'll be a drawstring. And then it's got this really cool metallic on the inside. This is canvas, and then this is like a speckled linen here. I have this zodiac print in a white, and this is on cotton lawn, so it's really, really soft, and then the linen canvas, and I did this really cool mint green lining for that one. This has butterflies on it. Again, a little bit of metallic, and then the lining color is just this cream with metallic dots. And then this floral with the brushed gold and white metallic again. There we go. And this is the same floral, but this is in the large zipper. This will have a zipper closure and the large size. This will easily do a fingering weight sweater. It might be a little small for a worsted weight sweater. They end up being about 14 inches by I think 10 inches tall when they're finished, these large size, but they are a really great size. They're a really good one to have. I think I have 2 of them. This guy is on canvas as well, with the metallic navy and gold. So yeah, everything is Rifle Paper Company, and that's like a linen as well up there on the top with like a peachy lining. And then I have some bucket bags here, which are almost finished. They just need to be top stitched and get their drawstrings in. So I have that canvas again in like a pink, like a peach almost, and then this one is like a periwinkle blue. Yeah, my colors are blowing out a little bit when I turn them towards the light, but that's fairly accurate. This is the lawn print again in the white, and it has this cool star lining. These are very good size. They all have, it's hard to see because it's white. They all have a big pocket running down one side that you can put your pattern or your notions in. I'll try and show you on a bag that has a more contrast on it. These ones, the top measurement is about 18 inches. The bottom measurement here is about 10 inches, and then they go about 9 or 10 inches wide as well. So they end up opening up into like this big cube. You can see the pocket a little better on there. Yeah, so there's a big one where you can put your pattern paper, fold it in half, and then there's a small one on each side here for like measuring tapes and things like that. So this is based on, well, this is the medium Finch bucket by Stitch Mischief. And yeah, I don't remember if I said this or not. I would say it's like an 8 skein bag, like 6 to 8 skeins, where my large zipper that I showed you is probably more like a 4 to 5 skein. So these are really generous. They're really roomy. They hold a lot. The pockets are really handy, and then this handle plus when you pull the drawstrings, they become another set of loops as well for you to hold on to. And then I've got this lawn, cotton lawn feeling with the zodiac in black. I always end up peeking over the project bags like this to see what I'm doing, but it looks really weird. I always notice it when I'm editing. Yeah, so I'm really, really happy with those. They are, well, they're not taking longer. I thought I was going to have an update for last Friday, but like I said, with everything going on, it just did not happen. But this Friday is the 5th of February. And there will be a shop update, an Etsy shop update. So thank you so much for everybody who shopped the last update. It was really great. It was my first update in the new year, and really encouraging to see the orders come in. I want to thank you for your support. It's really, really amazing, and I am feeling really lucky that I have a job that I can do from home. And while it's not easy to run your own business, it is definitely rewarding, especially for someone like me who up until a year ago I've always worked for somebody else. So anyways, I just wanted to say that I hope you're all doing really well. I hope that you are managing as best as you can with any drama in your life, like, you know, minor beer spills or moisture issues in your house. Yeah, I hope you're safe and happy and doing well. And I will be back with you probably in 2 weeks or so. And I will have some new things to show you. And yeah, look forward to chatting with you then. Take care, everyone. We'll see you soon.